Standing here in the ruins of Newberry Hall. Nothing left of the property today. Actually standing now in the gardens of Newberry Hall, which are the only structure left. The original building looked like this. This was taken approximately in the year 1900 and shows Newberry Hall in all its glory. It took 10 years to build and was completed in 1880 by the Gillett family. Another view from a different angle. It's said that the actual manufacture and the construction of Newberry Hall even incorporated some brickwork from Kenilworth Castle. But by 1970 the entire property had been abandoned and fell into ruin. Now, what's more interesting than the actual history of this property is the paranormal provenance that comes with it. One of the owners of Newberry Hall, a man called Mr. William Albert Upton, committed suicide here in 1908, and it is his ghost which haunts this place. Now, on the 5th of September 1908, if you look there in the main doorway to Newberry Hall, William Albert Upton put a gun into his mouth and blew his brains out. And it is that killing here on this site which makes the ruins of Newberry Hall a haunted location. Here's a close-up of the actual doorway itself. But just like anything else, eventually Mother Nature reclaims everything for herself, and that once massive mansion is now completely gone. There's always been a bit of discussion on whether William committed suicide or it was actually a tragic accident. Now, I do have a copy of the actual death certificate from 1908. Which states that a William Albert Upton, who was male, aged 48 years, and a printer, died on the 5th of September 1908 at Bury Hall, Solihull. The actual cause of death states the deceased was killed by the accidental discharge of a gun which he was carrying. Then we see the certificate was received from Theo Christophers, who was a coroner for South Warwickshire. The inquest was held on the 7th of September 1908. Now, regardless of whether William Upton actually committed suicide or not, is actually immaterial, because his spirit still haunts this place, whether it's the spirit of a suicide or of an accidental death. well, who knows for certain. But ever since this property fell into disrepair in the 70s, local people have claimed of having a feeling of being watched as they pass through this site. And it's true, because it does feel like you are being observed, even though there's nobody else here. Finally have a couple of shots from the rear of Newberry Hall. The actual tower was designed on Christ Church Tower at the University in Oxford. Finally we have a shot of what Bury Hall looked like in the 1970s. Completely ruined, and by the 1990s the entire building was swept clear. Now nothing of it remains today apart from the walls of his garden. Which we're standing in now. The only other printed information in regard to William Upton is this comes from the London Gazette, November the 3rd, 1908, and it says, William Albert Upton, deceased. Notice is hereby given that all creditors and other persons having any debts, claims or demands against the estate of William Albert Upton, late of Cambridge Street in the city of Birmingham, and Bury Hall, Solihull, in the county of Warwick. Printer, deceased, who died on the 5th day of September 1908, and whose will, with a codicil thereto, was proved in the Birmingham District Registry of the Probate Division of His Majesty's High Court of Justice on the 1st day of October 1908 by Ada Ann Upton, who was his wife, Arthur Heaton and Alan Elkington Thompson, three of the executors therein named. Dated this 30th day of October 1908. And it is within these ruins of Newberry Hall that Mr. Upton is said to haunt. He's not particularly a friendly spirit, not benign at all, and doesn't like strangers by all accounts. The grave of William Upton can still be found today. about a mile away from here in the graveyard of St. Alfred's Church. It's a large white angel. His wife, who remarried after he was killed, is also buried in the family plot. Haunted Newberry Hall. And the ghost of Mr. William Upton.